All right, California on fire. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Well, the live pictures coming out of the LA area are heartbreaking, as we discussed with James Woods. Firefighters are bravely battling the flames, and as we just heard, in impossibly windy conditions. When this nightmare finally ends, thousands of families who 2 days ago were just blissfully going about their everyday lives will have lost everything. Now, some evacuated with only a few moments to round up their children, grab essential documents, and maybe their animals.
How many more horses do you have?
We have a couple we just let loose over there. We're trying to get as many as we can out. Yeah.
Are any homes out there on fire?
Honestly, I did not pay attention. I just drove straight to the barn to get my horses out and get the rest of these guys out. We're not just gonna let them burn.
How much would you say that you've lost?
Everything. I got my car, whatever's in my car. I hope the feral cat's okay. She lives in the neighborhood, so hopefully she made it out safely.
Roadways filled with abandoned cars showed the desperation of motorists who chose to run for their lives.
At the bottom of the canyon, there was cars piled on top of each other. There was boulders and debris that fell off of the canyon that was on fire, that was in the middle of the road where people had to abandon their cars.
Now, the scope of this loss is unfathomable. Although thankfully the death toll currently is fairly low, there are many more injured. But forget the climate fanatics, because natural disasters are always going to happen. Hurricanes, floods, mudslides, droughts, and yes, wildfires. But disasters in leadership can make what is naturally occurring even worse. And California has suffered more than it should because it has screwed up priorities from top to bottom.
Were you guys prepared enough for this? Did we have enough resources to fight these fires?
No, LA County and all 29 fire departments in our county are not prepared for this type of widespread disaster. There are not enough firefighters in LA County to address 4 separate fires of this magnitude. We're doing the very best we can, but no, we don't have enough fire personnel in LA County between all of the departments to handle this.
California residents and businesses are among the most highly taxed in the United States. And yet, we just heard there are not enough fire personnel? Well, naturally, the public's frustration and fury is beginning to show.
I don't know where my mayor was when this was happening. Nobody told us where to go, what to do. I didn't even have an evacuation order. I love the fire department. I love our fire personnel. We need more. Where were they?
Well, of course, we do know where California liberals choose to spend billions. And we do know that their environmental fanaticism has shoved common sense thinking out the door. Now, while the winds this week are horrific, experts insist that bad forest management can make a bad situation worse. And Trump called this out 6 years ago.
California ought to get their act together and clean up their forests and manage their forests, because it's disgraceful. What's happening should never happen. I go all over the country and I meet with governors. The first thing they say is there's no reason for forest fires like that in California. It's costing our country hundreds of billions of dollars because of incompetence.
He's right. Incompetence kills. And it's not just the refusal to clear the underbrush. As early as last night, firefighters, as James said, were reporting finding hydrants without any water. Happened throughout the Pacific Palisades. And the situation continued into today.
That crew, Jake, has now left. They left shortly after we did that interview. There was nothing more they could do here. They didn't have the water to do it. This is a slightly uphill area, so that's probably what has contributed now to the water problem here.
So why the lack of water? Well, I think we should ask Governor Newsom, because his focus has been shrinking the water supply by removing 4 huge dams in his state.
I'm here to explain what we're doing with the largest river restoration project in U.S. history. You know, the Klamath River once supported one of the largest runs of salmon in the western United States. And for decades, dams along the Klamath River block salmon from migrating, damaging our ecosystems and hurting native communities who rely on these fish. So, work is already underway to take those dams out. By removing the dams, we're helping to restore salmon, steelhead, and lamprey populations.
Fish lives matter. Well, native culture matters. But what about the people who need the water in a time of crisis? Could full reservoirs created by some of these dams, now prohibited under California regulations, could that have helped? Again, Trump warned about this with Joe Rogan before the election.
They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why do you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north of water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean.
Of course, we haven't even mentioned the idiotic DEI priorities that have infected the hiring of senior personnel throughout the state. The fire chief of LA, I'm sure, is doing her best, but of all the challenges facing California, she has made a point of focusing on diversity and inclusion. Because fires care about the color of your skin, or your gender, or your sexual preference.
The city of Los Angeles swore in a new fire chief yesterday, and for the first time in history of the department, she is a woman. Kristen Crowley will lead the nation's third largest firefighting force in our second biggest city as a push for diversity continues in a male-dominated field.
It's a really perfect position to start and to prioritize that work environment, especially from the diversity, equity, and inclusion side.
It's pathetic. Now, maybe she can tell us if she still thinks sending surplus firefighting equipment to Ukraine was also a good idea, because they did that too. Yeah. And to add insult to injury, the Biden administration sent another $500 million in weapons to Ukraine today. So the people of California are going to need billions in aid to recover from this. But we're sending $500 million to Ukraine. We shipped our excess equipment, firefighting equipment, to Ukraine. This is insanity. Biden should be ashamed of himself. Newsom should be ashamed of himself. DEI, illegal immigrants, that is a priority for California. Sanctuary cities, spending billions on those, that's a priority for California. Obviously, environmental concerns, the climate fanatics, that's a priority for California. But the people of California who need water when their homes are burning, when their livestock is threatened, when their businesses are at risk of burning to the ground, apparently they're out of luck. So yes, they should be ashamed of themselves. But of course, none of them have any shame. It's America last, as usual. And by the way, no one thought Biden's briefing today in Santa Monica is going to reassure a single victim of these fires. It was all performative. He stood there with a screen in the middle with the fire chief on one side and Biden looking with a dazed look into the screen and the other side of the screen. It was ridiculous. So when this crisis is over, every politician who prioritized spending billions on woke nonsense or on migrants, sanctuary cities, they should be thrown out on their butts. They should never work in politics again. And at the same time, sensible politicians, Republicans, common sense Democrats, people like John Fetterman, I hope they take this horrible moment to support the people of California and tell them, remind them, it doesn't have to be this way. President Trump, Senator Thune, Speaker Johnson, all should travel to Los Angeles. Help California. Help them save themselves. The politicians out there aren't going to do it. After these fires are put out, it's time for California to come home with a return to common sense. And that's The Angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.